My name is Scott Stringer, New York City Comptroller, and today I am releasing the findings of a new report from my office which shows that projects raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour would put $10 billion into the pockets of almost 1.5 million hard-working New Yorkers. If we are serious about tackling income inequality in all 5 boroughs, raising the minimum wage is one of the single most effective tools we have. It's important to remember that the numbers in this report aren't just statistics. They're about real people. When a single mother on minimum wage can't put food on the table and has to seek public assistance, we all lose. When an immigrant making minimum wage has to work 2 and 3 jobs just to pay the rent, our city has failed. New York owes everyone better than that. And that's why we're here today. Here's what our report found. Borough by borough, the impact of a raised wage can be enormous. In Brooklyn and Queens, more than 900,000 workers could see a $3 billion annual wage increase. In the Bronx, 250,000 workers could be boosted by $2 billion. In Manhattan, 237 workers could see a $1.6 billion annual wage increase. On Staten Island, 52,000 workers could see a $311 million boost. A higher minimum wage is a real gateway to the middle class. Raising the wage could boost weekly incomes in low-wage sectors like retail and healthcare by up to $150 per week by 2019, and we could reduce the number of households earning less than $30,000 by nearly 170,000 people. This kind of increase has real implications for hardworking New Yorkers. Now, our projections show this. By raising the wage to $15, it would reduce the number of households that spend more than half of their income on rent by 90,000. Think about that. Think about what that would mean to preserving affordable housing. 90,000 New Yorkers. It would decrease the amount the city spends on public assistance like food stamps and Medicaid by $200 to $500 million. Think about what the wage would bring in terms of savings to our government. 13% of those who would benefit would be our students. And this would help close the enormous gap between the rising cost of college and the slow increase in wages for many young New Yorkers. Imagine having the opportunity to go to college because you raised the wage by a few dollars. That's what means college readiness for so many of our young people. At $15 per minimum, at $15 minimum wage would also have a significant effect on consumer spending. Now, based on the trends that we examine, with this additional income, impacted New York City households could be expected to spend annually up to $1,800 more on housing, up to $600 more on groceries, and up to $400 more on entertainment, and up to $300 more on health care. That's real money that will go directly back into our communities. Now, we know that this is the greatest city in the world, but it's also the most expensive. When you factor in the high cost of living, we have the lowest minimum wage in the United States. It's a travesty that we've fallen behind other states and cities like San Francisco and Connecticut and Chicago on this issue. We can boost our economy and help lift millions of New Yorkers out of poverty by simply raising the minimum wage. Now, I come here today because my job is to look at the fiscal health of the city.
That's right.
I got to crunch the numbers. I want to stand with you because it's the right thing to do, but the way I stand with people is I got to look at the bottom line. The numbers don't lie. Raising the wage to $15 an hour will be a $10 billion boost to the New York City economy. It would change the way we look at workers' rights all over the country if we do it right here this year. So today I stand with you to tell you very clearly that this is not just a social justice issue. This is an economic imperative for our city. Because when we raise the wage, we lift up our economy. We lift up small business. We lift up the people who day to day are struggling to pay the rent, raise families, and be part of the greatest diverse city on earth. Let's stop pretending that this doesn't matter. This report today shows that this is the right thing to do from an economic perspective, and I am glad to stand with you on that basis.